Should mediums read for close friends and family members? Every medium makes their own choice here, but in this video, I'm sharing why reading for close friends and family members is a no for me. If you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell too, that way you'll be notified the next time I release a new video about all things mediumship. You can watch my readings and catch me in action. Also, I have spiritual how-tos, meditations, and so much more. When I first began my mediumship journey, I gave 100 readings for free, and now I've given many, many more. I can tell you for certain that in my experience, there is a big difference between reading for someone you don't know and reading for someone you know really well. The number one reason that I don't read for close friends and family members is my own bias. Reading blind is always best. That means you know nothing about your sitter. That way there's no sorting out information you already know versus a spiritual impression that you're receiving that's coming from spirit. Remember that spiritual impressions are so subtle and they feel a lot like your imagination, especially when you're just starting out. When you know more about someone, much more about someone, it's way harder to lean into that trust that you must have between you and yourself and you in spirit. There's already so much in your mind that you're aware of. It's also very difficult to be objective and so easy to be biased. And bias is just one of the many ways that mediums can get inaccuracies. In addition, if your family member is grieving, if they have intense past trauma, and you come in stirring those things up by giving them what may very well be a half-assed reading that likely has bias and likely has more inaccuracies than usual, that directly opposes the purpose of mediumship, which is meant to be a healing art. I will say, I've had tutors who do suggest giving readings to people you know well because it is such a challenge. And I don't entirely disagree as long as the person is not in a state of deep grief and they and you are not at all concerned with stirring up past trauma, etc. Reason number two that I don't read for close friends or family, their bias. Let's assume, however unlikely, that you're reading for a close friend or family member is an absolutely super duper amazing reading. Super accurate, totally unbiased. How objectively will this message be received? I've had blind readings before where the message really struck a chord and the sitter did not want to hear what spirit had to say. Sometimes when it comes to the thing that a person needs to hear most, it's kind of hard to hear. Now imagine if they're a close friend or a family member. Never mind things just being uncomfortable and weird. It opens the door for your family member or your friend to doubt your skills, or worse, mediumship in general, to wonder if you see them in a certain light that they don't like, to create a challenge in your own relationship with them, or worst of all, to discard a really powerful message from spirit because since they received it from you, they're really just taking it with a grain of salt. And what if that message was a really powerful one that was going to help them heal, change, grow? The third reason that I don't read for close friends and family members, there are so many amazing mediums out there who could give them a reading instead. I've had many family members ask me to read for them, and I gently and lovingly explain to them what I just explained to you. What's most important is that they have a powerful experience, and that the medium who is serving them does justice to the spirit world by communicating the message accurately. That is much more important than potentially having a crappy reading with me or you because they know and trust us and they think they'll be more comfortable. I promise you that most of the time, it's not going to end up being the experience that they might want or the experience that's as good as what you usually give to your clients. There are so many great mediums out there who will be far more unbiased because they don't know anything about your close friends or family members. When I share this information with my close friends and family, then I refer them to another medium or I share with them the opportunity that I think would be best to receive a reading from their past loved one or loved ones. Do you read for close friends and family? Why or why not? Go ahead and share below. I do want to shed a little light on my past experiences and why I made this decision for myself. First of all, I've always been a person knowing that boundaries are really important for me to be happy and healthy, and for me not to be living my life out of shoulds or obligation. I've noticed that having healthy boundaries and having separations in places that are most important allow me to have incredible relationships with the people I love the most. And they also allow me to have the privacy that I deserve as a professional, which sometimes can be really hard to come by when a lot of people are reaching out and saying that they desperately need your services. We all need time to turn off. We all need spaces that aren't dominated by the work that we do or the gifts that we have. We all need downtime. And for me to create a life that I love and a business that I love that is sustainable, boundaries have been such an important piece of that. And I'll be sharing more in more videos about mediumship boundaries. We had a caregiver at the house who was taking care of my daughter often, and she and I became wonderful friends. This was around the time when I was just coming into my skills, and I was sharing everything with her, which was such a gift for me. And she asked multiple times if she could please be a guinea pig for me to practice my skills on. The good thing about this is that I was really, really transparent with her, saying, listen, I don't want to stir anything up. I don't want to say things that scare you or that are wrong. And she was really in full understanding for where I was with my skills at that time. Was it challenging? Absolutely the most challenging readings that I've ever done, not just because I knew her so well, but that I read for her almost every week. That is a really challenging thing to do. And with my one-on-one clients, I actually don't let people have readings that are private more than every 6 months. I want to state though that these were probably my worst readings, probably my most inaccurate readings. And while we had some incredible experiences, I could tell how difficult it was to be unbiased. Now, at the same time, this was at the beginning of my journey, but to feel the difference between sitting in a blind reading and sitting with someone where you have so many details about their life, it just isn't the same. So if you want that extra challenge, you could try. I do strongly recommend against reading for family members unless you have that kind of understanding that I described. In terms of my other family members wanting readings, I feel that there's a lot that can be stirred up. So for me, it's just not really a low stakes situation. I just can't imagine leaving that reading knowing that it wasn't a great reading, knowing that there's a lot of loose ends for them to tie up, a lot of questions that they have, and maybe even some confusion. Why wouldn't I just direct them to someone else who could be completely objective? Because what I care about more than anything is the experience that they have, and that it is as healing as it can possibly be. If you are interested in strengthening your clairs so you can speak to spirit, go ahead and download my free guide below. It's called 3 Easy Exercises to Strengthen Your Clairs and Speak to Spirit. You can also check out mediumshipwithmel.com. Here you can book private readings, group readings. You can check out my development circle and other ways to learn right along with me. Be sure to check out this video next. And if you like this video, leave a comment below. Tell me what was most helpful. Like this video, and don't forget to hit that bell. That way you'll be notified when I release my next video about all things mediumship.